Yeah, well, that was a good weekend. Quite glad I did the kind of mid videos and everything just to keep everyone in the loop as much as possible. So you should pretty much know. We're just going to a wee synopsis of what we've done and what we've made and where we're at with everything. So the last the last the last form the portfolio took before the one that we're kind of sitting with now, where we're trying to play the January game, which is probably this platform at its most gambling. You know, that's the most gambling you're doing. Is you're just the only commodity is speculation. Is there any? Is there likely to be any? If there is some, how serious is it? Can it escalate? You know, how long of a shelf life does it have with the press? You know, is it a continuous? You know, all that type of stuff. And it's just it's the closest thing you're getting on this to pure gambling, just something that's not within your control or your ability to predict with any degree of certainty. So we made a few mistakes and a few trades that didn't really work out that great. But like I said to you at the time, you cannot get hung up on, you know, anything that doesn't quite go your way, especially if you're sticking to a timeline, which we were, because there's winners, as I say, guys, there's winners every day on this, of different players rising for one reason or another, and we've covered the various reasons that can happen already, and obviously we'll continue to do so. But the point of this one today, guys, is just to say everything made money. What a weekend it was. We had the mail, Falcao, Samar Handanovic on Saturday, and then today, guys, I picked up Zapata. I think it was Thursday or Friday. We spoke about the potential value of him, and boy, did it come in. We were talking about the Icardi effect. Well, this was full Icardi. Scores 4 goals, picks up everything going. I'm a wee bit disappointed he's not got overall star player of the day. That extra sixpence or whatever it is a share would have been nice. But 4 goals, best forward. The main thing about this, guys, because his price has kind of went up and down a little bit. Since he got to dividends, you see, got right up close to 280, and then he's just kind of petered out around 271 to 269. All the way from, we had him not even at 180, you see there, we had him at 175. I then had some spare money floating about in the account, as you know, and when I knew everything was in the bag, I just bought the other 7 shares. I did it in one swoop, but for your benefit, to try and keep this as accurate as possible, so you can see exactly how much money was spent to get on Zapata. So I've bought 7 of them, and I bought the 7 of them at £2.75, I want to say. 7. So yeah, you can use, somebody can work that out. I'm not going to bother, but yeah, it was like £2.70 or something. So we've kind of leveraged, you know, the price is pushed up against the guaranteed at that point dividends in terms of the goals, and the highly likely dividends that were coming in terms of the best forward of the day, because we've got it before the 2 o'clock deadline. So at that point, it's quite, you know, that's £18. It was quite safe. You know, we're basically buying dividends with that transaction. So I'm not worried about it pushing up my overall cost per share price to 209 from 175. It doesn't bother me. Even with that in consideration, we're up £10.20. Plus we've got 8 pence per share for his goals, and then we've got 12 pence a share for his best player. But that's what I was talking about, guys. There's been a bit of movement on him. If you've got him on my recommendation, or you had him anyway, whether if you've got 1 or 100, don't sell them yet. Okay, obviously you need to wait till midnight to get your dividends and whatever. But the most valuable thing about this guy right now is he is now at 271 in the squad players list. That means tomorrow he will be taking the place of someone else into the top 200. You can see here there's a lot of people we can jump ahead of. 270 puts him decent way up the list. 270. He's going right in at almost in the top 150. He'll be right in amongst, right in amongst the top 150, never mind 200. So that means he's then exposed to the media. Okay, so any stories that are going to happen are now going to show him up on this screen here. If anyone sees anything, the 2 magic words, guys, for the next couple of days, it's hammers and spurs. If there's any article about Duvan Zapata with any of those 2 words in it, then he is going to go up again. No two ways about it. So what the increase in price and the dividends have bought us in this situation, which is quite unique to January, and it's really good we've got a piece of it. It's also a small piece, but something that's better than nothing. Um, that now he has potential to, between match days, have a significant rise. So hold on to him if you've got him. As long as you want, it's up to you guys. Don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, now that he's able to be exposed by the press in this platform, he's trust me, he's not done yet. That's what I'm trying to spit out. Suarez got a wee cheeky goal as well, wee £2 in the bag. Eriksen got an assist, a wee £1 in the bag, not too bad. So really good weekend, guys, and this is how your portfolio should be structured. Obviously amounts of money will vary, but you look at the players we've got. Really, Eriksen, the most expensive player, we've got a decent portion of him, but we have Falcao and Handanovic that are cheap shares, and as you can see already, it's proven they can earn dividends, and that's them in the bank now. And we've got basically the rest of the 30-day cycle. They're brand new signings for us. We've got the rest of the 30-day cycle to go get more, and their price, to, if Handanovic stays about the same level, great. Falcao on match day, he took a wee spike, he went a wee bit higher, pushed up towards 108 at one point. So that's, they're safest houses right now. Very cheap, very easy to move on a match day as well, which is cool. And Eriksen, nice wee increase, and again during the match day today, he did have a bit of movement, 504, pushing up towards that. And if he scored today, he would have definitely broke into like 14, between 10 and 20. And Suarez, did what we thought. He's going to score. Barcelona are a great team to be back in now. 3-1 win. Dembele scored. Messi scored. Alba get 2 assists. Barcelona are a great team just to have money involved in there now. Safe money. Okay, so as I say, guys, portfolio structure is entirely up to yourselves. But even if you just take Zapata, the exact level of money like if you go back to my very first video, guys, I talk about making this replace accumulators and in-play bets and whatever. Forget about the second lot of £18. Even just the first 10 I had on him, £17.50. It's still a fun bet. He scored the 4 goals. He shot up in price by virtually, if I kept him at that, I didn't buy the additional 7, he'd have increased by £1 a share. 10 shares, that's £10. Then he's hitting 12 pence a share. 10 shares, £1.20. Then 80 pence a share by 10, 80 pence, so overall £12 for 17. That's like similar to odds you would get for overs over 2.5 goals in like a fairly bankerish game. You know what I mean? So now I've got that money. It's still there. Even if the exact bet you put on for those odds didn't land, you were close. You had a feeling, like Zapata might play well or something like this, but the bet didn't come off. Your money's gone. It's never coming back. But with this, doesn't really matter if the outcome you're anticipating is that goes exactly to plan, as long as you're kind of there. Like Eriksen making 1 assist, he's still at plus 8 pence. That's pretty much takes care of my commission, including the £1 I'm going to get for his assist. So it didn't go. Eriksen didn't get a hat trick or light the world up or anything, but he still done something. Still kept us going. Same with Suarez. He still scored a goal. Didn't score a hat trick or do anything spectacular, but he's got a decent increase. 3 pence. That's 1%, and then we've got the £2 coming as well. So it all adds up. Guys, so this is the kind of shape the portfolio normally takes. And I say I kind of got sucked in by January a little bit. I'm still kind of playing the January game with Zapata, a little bit with Eriksen, as well, because he's got contract stuff to sort out. But yeah, guys, so we'll be taking this one day at a time, see how it goes. The fixtures have all panned out, going forward pretty well for all these guys I'm holding them out. That's why I'm holding them, obviously. Zapata, we've got a good window of opportunity for anyone who might want to come back on him later on. I was looking at this. So, obviously he's breaking into the top 200, which is great. But you've got to look at what's coming up for him. Okay, he's now in the top 200, and we've still got the January window. So, between now and the January window ending, they're at home at Roma. He does anything in that game. Atalanta could lose 3-2. If he scores 2 goals or scores 1, makes 1, something like that, that's still a great outcome. Coppa Italia against Juve doesn't really do us anything, but it's still in January, and if it was to do something, you're then going into transfer deadline day with him being red hot, you know. And then, you know, we can hold him a bit longer. Away to Cagliari, we'd expect him to score that game. At home at Spal, we'd expect him to score in that game. And then by AC Milan, you know, you've got, uh, by that point, 4 match days out of him, you know what I mean? And with the match days had already, you know, these don't really need to go that well to be a success, you know, for the holding for the month. You're then taking £35, £17, whatever. It's then turned into probably closer to 60 if it goes anywhere near what we're kind of just spitballing. You can take that and you move it somewhere else. You go get 10 Ericsson, you go get 10. Here's another one I'm looking at now, guys. I'm trying to do my best to talk about these while I remember them because my watch list isn't working. But this guy right here, I made a lot. Bale was one of my first really good trades. It was when Wales played China in a friendly. And it was like international break, so like nothing was on all that week. And they were playing on like the Thursday or something. And on the Sunday, I seen it and I thought if Bale does anything, he's the only guy they're going. You know, it's going to be in the press. It's an early kick-off away to China. It's China as well, and he did really well. I can't remember. He scored 2 goals maybe, or maybe he got a hat trick. I can't remember. But he went from something like this, you know, £5.80 odds. No, it was like £4.40. I had him, yeah, and then he jumped all the way up to like over £5, and then got some media bonus for him, and that worked out pretty well for me. So because of that, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Bale. It says here 7 days he's back on the up, but if you look overall, guys, you know, he's you've missed absolute rock bottom. I think that 575 is probably absolute rock bottom. He's never going to go below that, but he's kind of picking up a wee bit, and he's going to be in the media, guys. He's not been on form at Real Madrid, and that is not a bad thing because it just means he can be seen to be more likely to come back to the Premier League. You know, Spurs, Man United, a couple of teams could reasonably go out and buy him. Let's say he does come back from injury and he plays in the team and he does amazing, then brilliant. He's going to jump up in price, you know, and get dividends and goals. And when Bale's on it, he's one of the best players in the world. I think we all know that, you know. But what I was doing, I'm looking at these type of things. I'm thinking Bale, best case scenario, worst case scenario. So even if you think about the best case scenario, he's 585. Is he less valuable than Hudson-Odoi? On form Gareth Bale? No, is he hell? Is he less valuable than any of these people here, really? Maybe not Ronaldo, but is he less valuable than Jadon Sancho? No. He's playing abroad, he's British, he's got the same kind of caveat to them, you know. Jadon Sancho is young English prospect, so he's going to have a premium on Bale, but Bale's a Champions League winner, clearly a world-class player, and if he goes to somebody, it will be big news. It's Pogba level news, you know, if he goes to somebody in the Premier League. So he's one we're looking at, keeping an eye on. We might do something with. But I'll speak to you Monday anyway, guys. Thanks for tagging along, and I hope you did well at the weekend. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, all the good stuff, guys. Comment, I'll interact. Take care. Bye-bye.